welcome to another edition Smart Chat, YouTube.com, and thank you for watching, liking, subscribing to this channel. If you haven't done so, I beg you to please do so right now. I know we're almost coming into February. I mean, one day away. But I thought to myself, on some downtime, now would be the best time to do 2015 Wrestling Awards, Smart Chat Wrestling Awards. First ever. Maybe second ever. Second ever, I'm sorry. Shall we begin? Wrestler of the Year, Jay Lethal. Certainly come a long way from the guy that did those Randy Savage and Ric Flair impersonations. As 2015 began, Jay Lethal was approaching his one-year anniversary as the ROH TV champ. In March, he defeated Alberto El Patron at the ROH anniversary show. Then later that month, he defeated the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger at the Supercard of Supercard for ROH. Beginning in April of 2015, Lethal began referring to himself as the ROH champion, a direct shot at the then reigning ROH champion Jay Briscoe, who had not been pinned in nearly 2 years. In May, it was announced that the two would face off in a title versus title match on June 19th in Best in the World pay-per-view. And you know who won? Jay Lethal. Lethal used 2 of his trademark lethal injection finishers to finally secure the pinfall and both titles. Lethal decided not to surrender that TV title, and he vowed to defend both titles. And for a 4-month period there, he did that against a lot of talent before finally losing that title to Roderick Strong to end his 560-day reign as champion. Wrestler of the Year, Jay Lethal. Match of the Year, Sasha Banks versus Bayley, NXT TakeOver. August of 2015, TakeOver event outside of a home base of Full Sail University there in Florida at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn in front of 15,000 plus fans right in my backyard there. Co-main event, if you remember, was for the NXT Championship match with Bayley challenging longtime rival, the Boss, Sasha Banks. 18-plus minute classic match. Featured a spectacular dive by Banks over the top rope onto Bayley, who was on the floor while the referee was leaning between the ropes to check on her, as well as a top rope reverse Hurricanrana by Bayley, which would ultimately lead to her scoring with her patent Bayley to belly suplex to score the 3 count and the title. After that match, if you remember, the 2 women were joined by fellow 4 horsewomen at the time, Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Match of the Year, in my opinion, Sasha Banks versus Bayley, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Heel of the Year, Ethan Carter III. He's a Carter, and the world needs him. That was what Ethan Carter said upon his arrival in TNA. And in 2015, and since his sense of entitlement fueled his rise to the top of the wrestling world. And along the way, he's done some pretty horrible things. Horrible. He's the heel of the year after all. At the beginning of the year, he shaved the head of Jeremy Borash. to get back at former lackey rock star Spud. Then in March, after gaining respect for Spud after defeating him in a hair versus hair match in London, he attacked him from behind and then shaved his head. Then there was the constant interference with his bodyguard Tyrus Brodus Clay, and with his help, he became the #1 contender to the TNA heavyweight title. After he won the championship, he would go on to lose it to Matt Hardy in a triple threat match in which he wasn't pinned at Bound for Glory, which caused him to file an injunction. Ultimate heel of the year, Ethan Carter III, in my opinion, with honorable mentions to Seth Rollins, Eric Young, Kevin Owens. Face of the year, Finn Balor. When Finn Balor came to NXT in late 2014, fans were excited to see what that international superstar, that indie star, would do on a bigger stage. In 2015, it was apparent they liked what they saw. He quickly became NXT's most popular star. In July of 2015 in Tokyo Dome, he defeated Kevin Owens to win the NXT Championship. But perhaps, I think the fans' favorite thing about Balor is his entrances, most notably his alter ego, the Demon. Runner-up, to my opinion, face of the year, even though it's Finn Balor, Sami Zayn, Bayley, and Dean Ambrose. Feud of the year, Sasha Banks versus Bayley. I think, looking at it, for the women's division, it was a classic wrestling feud. Sasha was a brash, confident champion, was as good as in the ring, as she said she was, quite honestly. Bayley was the underdog. She had come close to winning the championship on many occasions, but had failed to win it. Banks won the championship in a fatal four-way that Bayley was part of. And after recovering from a hand injury, Bayley rededicated herself to winning that NXT Women's title. They will meet again in NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. You know what happened, what type of match they had. Feud of the year, my opinion, Sasha Banks versus Bayley for 2015. With, runner-ups as far as feud of the year, Brock versus Taker. Spud versus Ethan Carter was memorable. Rollins versus Ambrose, favorable as well. Best in-ring technician for 2015. Jay Lethal. Always been a good wrestler, but in 2015, Jay Lethal brought his in-ring game up another notch and constantly delivered time in and time out. We've seen what he did as the ROH TV champion, then becoming the World Heavyweight champion, regular 15 to 20 minute matches, lethal injection finisher, one of the best finishers in the game right now. Best in-ring technician, Jay Lethal. Honorable mentions to Cesaro, Finn Balor, Dolph Ziggler. Put that in there as well. Woman of the Year 2015. For me, it's Sasha Banks. She's the boss, obviously. She won a fatal four-way, also involving 3 runners-up. In this category for me, Bayley, Becky Lynch, and defending champion Charlotte to become the 3rd NXT Women's Champion. During her 6-month reign as champion, she had a match of the year candidates with Becky Lynch and Bayley, In July, she was brought up to the main roster for Raw. Women of the Year, 2015, Sasha Banks. Tag Team of the Year for me, New Day. Maybe it was the power of positivity. Maybe it was the unicorn magic. Whatever it was, it brought the New Day to the top of the WWE Tag Team division on 2 occasions. Guys like Woods, Kingston, and Big E have been the highlight of many otherwise boring editions of WWE TV. And besides, right now, I know you're probably saying in your head, New Day rocks. New Day rocks. New Day, 2015 Tag Team of the Year. Honorable mention: Young Bucks, Addiction, Kingdom, Usos. What the fuck moment of the year for me? Roman Reigns suffering succotash promo. When WWE started pushing Roman Reigns to the main event, it became clear almost immediately that cutting promos was not his strong suit. Not at all. But this was even never more apparent than on the January 19th, 2015 edition of SmackDown, when he said Seth Rollins was full of suffering succotash. Yes, a grown man said another grown man was full of Looney Tune catchphrase. How can you, how can he say otherwise? Runner-ups for me: Matt Hardy gives back the TNA World title. Never understood that. And Sheamus returned and looks stupid. Oh boy. Oh boy. Last category: the holy shit moment of the year for me. Holy shit moment of the year for me was when Kevin Owens beats John Cena in a WWE debut match. It was May of 2015, Monday Night Raw, remembered as the night Kevin Owens made his debut on the WWE main roster by answering the John Cena US Open Challenge. Chick-fil-A, good. But the two did not wrestle that night, nope. Instead, they would face each other in a special champion versus champion attraction 13 days later at the Elimination Chamber event. Almost everyone expected this to be just another Cena victory, and he continued building his run with the U.S. title. This would be just another stepping stone for Cena. But that's not what happened. Owens, NXT champion at the time, defeated Cena that night, and not only did he pin him cleanly after using that pop-up powerbomb, he defeated him cleanly, used up the pop-up powerbomb. Try saying that 10 times quick. Owens beating Cena in his WWE debut is the holy shit moment of the year for me in 2015. Notable mentions: Seth Rollins cashes in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. Indie wrestling stars make the NXT debut. Other things of honorable mention for me. So those are just some of my awards for 2015 in February of 2016. Nonetheless, I put them out there. Just my opinion. I hope all is well. I hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to speaking very, very soon.